behaviour as well. And I promised you a word. One word that when you use it, you are more likely to get people doing what you want than if you don't. And it's a dead simple word. And it's the word when. And one of the ways we process language, you know, I'll talk at that picture level of thinking. One of the things we do to process language is we create representations in our head as a result of the words that we hear. And I discovered the power of the word when it was a good number of years ago. I got home from work, I was sat in our sitting room watching the news on the telly. I quite like to watch the 6 o'clock news on the BBC, even though it is full of doom and gloom. But I do like to sit and watch the news. And I was sat there watching it, and Glenda stuck her head round the sitting room door and she said, "Oh, when you go upstairs, will you get me cardie?" A couple of moments later, I was halfway upstairs. And I got about halfway up before I went, "What's happened there? I was watching the news a minute ago. What's gone on?" Now, at that picture level of thinking, to hear the words, "when you go upstairs," you've got to have a picture of going upstairs in your mind's eye. It's a prompt to do it. How is "when you go upstairs" different to "if you go upstairs"? So if she'd have said "if you go upstairs," so when is only a matter of when. If is might do, might not. So if she'd have said "if you go upstairs, will you get me cardie?" I'd have said, "I'm watching the news. I'm not going upstairs." If she'd have said "can you go upstairs?" and get I'd probably said, "What's up with your legs, pet?" You know, it's something like that. So "can you go upstairs?" No, I can't. Will you go upstairs? No, I'm watching the news. When you go upstairs, you've got to have the representation in your head. And it is a really, really powerful little trick just to nudge people in the direction that you want. If any of you have had relatives on here, you've probably been wenned. Yeah, we've been wenned. Good news for this, if any of you have kids under about 10 in your life, anybody got young kids in your life or know people have? Yeah. If you've got kids under 10 in your life, they're dead susceptible to this, and especially if it's in the when-then pattern. So when you do this, then that, and the then has to be something that they like. So we had a foster carer train with us a few years ago. She had 4 boys under 10 fostered with her. Came on this course, she said, "I'm desperate for help because they come home from school and basically I yell at them till they go to bed. And it doesn't change the behaviour, I'm just desperate for help." And we did this on the course. She went home that evening, she'd come back next day, she said, "I can't believe it. I can't believe how successful that is." When they came home from school, I said to them, "Oh, so when you've done your homework, then we'll have tea." And she said they went and did their homework. And then after tea, I said, "When you've had a bath, we'll go to youth club." And they went in the bath. She said previously I'd shout and yell and shout and nag and yell and shout and nag and shout and nothing would have happened. Just that when then. And the then has to be something the kids like. Yeah, something that's powerful for them. So kids under about 10, brilliant for this. Next most susceptible I've come across are grown men. And actually I have nightmares about men from across the northwest coming to beat me up. Because the number of tales I've had about women going home and using this when then on their partners. And one woman said that her husband had started decking the backyard 18 months previously. You know, the wooden stuff you put out the back. She said he started it and he's never a completer finisher. And I've been nagging him for 18 months to do it, to finish it off. And she said, all that nagging, all it does is we fall out and have like difficulty. And after we'd done this, she said, I'm going to give that a go tonight. And she went home and she said to him, she said, when you finish the decking, we'll have a barbecue, shall we? And she said he loves barbecues, you know, he loves that cooking outside. So she said the words had barely got out of my mouth before he went and got his hammer and his nails. And he was out there till midnight and the decking was finished. She said just that simple when-then thing, it worked in a way that all that nagging hadn't done. So it's a really nice thing to do. If you ever need to influence other people and give them a nudge in the right direction, that when-then thing is really nice. And then just the other quick story. Somebody who worked, she worked in a college and worked with young people, I don't know what the correct phrase is, but for young people for whom not much was expected academically. And when we did this, she said, I realised that what I've been saying up to now, when I've been talking to my students, I've said things like, so will you be sitting your exams then? And it's like it's presuming that they're not even going to turn up. And when we did this, she said, I need to change that. And what she started saying was, so when you've sat your exams, what will you do next? And when you've passed your exams, what will you do? So she's starting to put in sort of representations of success for the kids. And I just thought that was nice. I thought that was a nice thing to do. So when is a real interesting little word. It nudges people in the direction you want them to go in. Generally, kids under 10, brilliant. Grown men, next most brilliant. Grown women, fairly susceptible to it. Teenagers sometimes spot it coming. And I think it's that, we were talking earlier about maybe they've got a stronger auditory awareness. If you do this with teenagers, sometimes it's like they go, well, I'm not going upstairs. But it's worth a go, isn't it? It's like, how much do you lose? Using one word, how much are you going to use? Lose.
One of the things I found that works really well after the when then with teenagers is I'll leave it with you.
Ah, when then and I'll leave it with, yeah. Very good. Bit of internal reference, Lee. Yeah. Is that all right? Just be gentle on people. We had somebody on a course, she come back, she said, on the second module, she said, my husband started calling me Wendy. Because it's almost like every sentence is, when you go in the kitchen, make me a cup of tea, please. So that's the linguistic bit. Then the programming bit of NLP, this is back to Richard.